Okay, very good morning, girls. So now we'll see about mechanism of osmoregulation. See, on seeing this picture itself, you can understand on hot sunny days how our body adjusts with the environment, and on very cool days how our body is adjusting with the environment. Okay, right. So today we are going to see the definition of thermoregulation and the mechanism of thermoregulation. So first you should know what is thermoregulation. As we have seen earlier, it is a process by which the body temperature of organisms is regulated for the effective functioning of our body. Okay. Then about the thermoregulatory mechanisms. What is this mechanism? See, animals develop variety of mechanisms and adaptations to maintain an optimum temperature. So usually on hot days we used to sit under the fan or we put AC and all. On very cold days, what will we do? We used to cover with a blanket and we used to wear sweaters. We close all the windows and doors at home. So like that, we follow variety of mechanisms and adaptations to maintain our body temperature. Okay. So here are few mechanisms. The first one is thermal migration, then basking, hibernation, estivation, diapers, fluttering of wings, antifreeze substances, regulation of blood flow in ectotherms. So there are so many thermoregulatory mechanisms, right? Today we are going to see only these 8 mechanisms. Very shortly we are going to see. Briefly we are going to see. The first one is thermal migration. Okay, thermal migration. So migration means moving from one place to another, isn't it? So here thermal migration means moving from hot place to the cool place. See, from the picture itself you can find the frogs, they are moving inside the water, right, to avoid heat, to adjust their body temperature. So the journey is taken by animals, enabling them to escape from the extreme hot or extreme cold condition is said to be thermal migration. For example, during noontime, the desert animals move to shady places. Amphibians like frogs and toads, they take short trips in and out of the water to cool or warm their body. Then these burrowing animals, they escape excessive heat or cold by going deeper into the soil. Right? Then the second thermoregulatory mechanism, that is basking. Okay, what do you mean by basking? See, several poikilotherms, they make use of the solar energy to raise their body temperature. That is sunbath. Simply we can say sunbath. That is what is called basking. See, for example, snakes and even lizards, all these they often take this basking in the sun in the early morning hours. Okay. Then the Galapagos marine iguana, they warm up their body by basking in the sun. So these are few examples, right? Then the third thermoregulatory mechanism is hibernation. Okay, what do you mean by hibernation? See here, the animals, if they undergo dormancy to escape from excessive cold, they used to sleep throughout the winter time. That is why they are said to be winter sleeping mechanism. So throughout the winter, to avoid the cold conditions, some organisms, they used to sleep throughout the winter. So that process is said to be hibernation, and this is also called winter sleep. So examples, for example, frogs, toads, reptiles, they exhibit hibernation, and usually they are insectivorous. Even rodents, bats, hummingbirds, they all undergo hibernation. Okay. When you see the characteristics of hibernation, usually they hibernate in crevices, under the rocks, or under burrows, or muddy places. They do not feed and they stop. So throughout this hibernating time, this winter sleeping time, they don't take any food. They stop. Okay. So the energy, their movement is also stopped. So the energy requirement will be very low. Respiratory rate will be less. Then metabolic rate also will be less. Heartbeat rate also will be less. And the body temperature also will be lowered. So these are few characteristics of hibernation. Okay. And the fourth thermoregulatory mechanism is estivation, just opposite to hibernation. Hibernation means winter sleep. Estivation means summer sleep. Okay. So there are certain organisms. See, it is a state of dormancy occurring in summer to escape the scorching heat of the sun. So to avoid the extreme heat, some organisms they used to sleep throughout the summertime. For example, ladybird beetles, Heteropteran bugs, lungfishes, rodents, some insectivores, ground squirrels, they all used to sleep throughout the summer time to avoid extreme heat. Okay, right? These are also few examples. Snail, lungfish, all these are few examples. And the fifth thermoregulatory mechanism is diapause. You might have seen some insects, they undergo this inactive stage that is said to be diapause. See, it is the stage in the development of certain animals during which the morphological growth and the developments are suspended or greatly reduced. So in some organisms, you know what happens at certain period of their development, they just stop everything. They stop feeding, they stop moving, they stop growth. All these will be stopped. So what will happen? They undergo an inactive stage, that is diapause. Okay. It is characterized by, as I have told, stoppage of growth, development of resistance to extremes of temperature. So to avoid the extreme heat or cold, some organisms they cover themselves by like this, and that process is said to be diapause. Okay. For example, the larva of pink cotton bollworm, they undergo diapause during winter. So soon after winter, they emerge outside and they live freely. Then redhead caterpillars or of groundnut, they enter the pupal diapause. So at any one of these stages, they undergo this diapause. Okay. And the next thermoregulatory mechanism is fluttering of wings. See, by fluttering their wings, they can maintain their body temperature. For example, insects. See, in the time of cold climate, their muscles cannot contract fast. So make them fast movement, they flutter their wings like this. Okay, so in such instance, the insects manage to raise the temperature to fly their flight muscles by fluttering the wings. For example, bees, butterflies, even when the temperature becomes very low, they used to flutter their wings. So that is another thermoregulatory mechanism. Okay. And the next one is anti-freezing substances. So this is also one of the thermoregulatory mechanism. See what happens to survive the very cold climate. Some ectotherms they have some special substance called antifreeze substance in the body fluid. So what happens during very cold climate, these insects with the help of the anti-freezing substance they avoid temperature changes in their body. Okay, so they prevent the freezing by freezing the body fluid, they can maintain their body temperature. So like that there are different types of thermoregulatory mechanisms. Okay, right? Here the parasitic wasp, will take this wasp Brachyoncephali as an example. It contains antifreezing substance called glycerine. It will increase during winter time. So what happens during winter time? The body fluid of this parasitic wasp will produce this glycerol, that is an anti-freezing substance. So this will help. This will lower the freezing point as low as 17 degree centigrade. So the tissues of the wasp will be protected. Super cold without ice crystal formation. Okay, so that is how these anti-freezing substances helps some ectotherms to maintain their body temperature. Okay, so that is all about the various thermoregulatory mechanisms. Okay, in addition, we have some more thermoregulatory mechanisms that we'll be seeing in the next presentation. Okay, thank you, girls.